Solutions, 2nd edition intermediate, by Tim Faller and Paul A. Davis. Published and copyright Oxford University Press 2012. cd3.
Unit 8, Lesson 8A, Exercise 3.
Arrivals Hall. Baggage reclaim. Buffet car. Check-in desk. Departure gate. Duty-free shop. Hard shoulder. Passport control. Petrol station. Taxi rank. Ticket office. Waiting room.
Lesson 8A, Exercises 6 and 7. 1.
Have you been waiting long?
Yes, I have. I think my train must be late.
Which train?
The 12:05 to Manchester.
I think it's gone.
What do you mean? I didn't see it.
It left from the other platform.
Oh, no.
2.
Can I have a cheese and tomato sandwich and a coffee, please? Oh, and an apple.
White or brown?
I'm sorry?
The sandwich. White or brown bread?
Brown, please.
Black or white?
What?
The coffee. Black or white?
Oh, white.
There you are. That's £12, please.
Oh, gosh, that's a lot. I need more money. I'll have to go back to my carriage.
3.
Judy, over here.
Chris! Thank you so much for coming to meet me.
Did you have a good flight?
Yes, it was fine.
The car's in the car park. Here, I'll help you with your bags.
Thank you.
4.
I'd like this bottle of perfume.
Of course. That's £40, please. How will you be paying?
By credit card.
Lovely. Can I see your boarding pass?
Yes, here it is. Hang on. I'm sure it was in this pocket. Oh dear.
5.
Here, let me put those bags in the boot.
Thanks.
Where to?
Baker Street, please. I'm in a bit of a hurry.
OK, jump in. Don't forget your seatbelt. It's the law now.
Oh, OK.
6.
Where are you flying to today?
Berlin.
And how many bags have you got?
Just this one. Can I take it as hand luggage?
Yes, that looks OK.
Thanks.
7.
Great. We just made it in time.
Look, they're boarding.
Come on.
Can I see your boarding pass?
Sure.
Only business class passengers are boarding at the moment. You're in economy class.
Oh, OK.
8.
Are you going to fill it up?
Yes, why not?
How much is the unleaded?
£1.40 a litre.
That's really expensive. Just put in enough to get us home.
OK.
Lesson 8C, Exercise 2.
A British tradition. The British tradition of explorers dates back centuries, when intrepid men set off across the ocean to discover new lands. The public have always looked up to these explorers as heroes, even if they were unsuccessful. These days, most places in the world have already been discovered, but there are still plenty of remote regions where it's challenging and at times dangerous to get about. Ed Stafford, a former British Army captain, has continued the British tradition of exploration. In 2010, he completed a record-breaking journey when he became the first person to trek the entire length of the Amazon River. He started at the source of the river, which is in the mountains of Peru, and finished 859 days and about 7,000 kilometres later on the Atlantic coast of Brazil. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with wildlife. Stafford and his partner came across electric eels, lethal vipers and giant anacondas. As if that wasn't enough, Stafford suffered an estimated 50,000 mosquito bites, and a tropical fly laid its eggs in the skin of Stafford's head. 3 months into their gruelling journey, Stafford's partner gave up and went home. But some of the humans he encountered were even more threatening than the wildlife. Stafford had been warned to stay away from certain notorious villages, but on one occasion he was chased by 5 or 6 boats full of angry locals. They were armed with guns and bows and arrows. Stafford thought they were going to kill him, but in fact the village chief accompanied Stafford for 47 days of the walk, and they ended up becoming good friends.
Lesson 8C. Exercises 5 and 6.
Robert Falcon Scott, or Captain Scott, as most people call him, was a famous British explorer who lived at the start of the 20th century. In 1910, he set out on a new expedition. His aim was to get to the South Pole. At that time, nobody knew very much about Antarctica. The maps were not good, and nobody had ever been to the South Pole. Scott wanted to be the first. There were 16 men in Scott's expedition, and they were divided into groups. In October 1911, one group set off with 2 motor sledges carrying supplies, but both motor sledges broke down. The men had to pull the supplies across the snow themselves. This was exhausting, and the rest of the expedition soon caught up with them. Then, a snowstorm began, and temperatures dropped. It was impossible to continue the expedition while the weather was so bad, so the men camped and waited. Scott was determined to reach the South Pole. He decided exactly who was going to make the final part of the journey, himself and 4 others. This part of the journey went well, but when they reached their destination, they found a tent, some supplies, and a letter. A Norwegian explorer called Amundsen had got to the pole first. Using skis, Amundsen had travelled much faster. It was a terrible moment for Scott. In his diary, he wrote, "Great God, this is an awful place." Captain Scott and the 4 other men turned around and headed back to base camp the next day. The return journey was a disaster. The weather was terrible, and the men were exhausted. They did not have enough food to eat, and on the 17th of February, one of them collapsed and died. The 4 survivors continued their journey, hoping for better weather. But in fact, the weather got worse, much worse, and they had to stop. One of the group, Captain Oates, decided on the 17th of March that he had no hope of completing the journey. He went out of the tent saying, "I am just going outside, and I may be some time." He did not return. He must have decided that his own death would help the other 3, because they would have more food. Unfortunately, the death of Captain Oates was not enough to save the others. They were only 18 kilometres from new supplies, but the weather was so bad they could not continue. The final entry in Scott's diary shows that they had given up. He wrote, "I do not think we can hope for any better things now. We shall stick it out to the end. But we are getting weaker, of course, and the end cannot be far. It seems a pity, but I do not think I can write more." 6 months later, a search party came across the bodies of Scott and the 2 other men in their tent. The body of Captain Oates was never found.
Lesson 8E. Exercise 3.
Travelling with friends. Going on holiday without your folks for the first time can be a great experience. Just be aware that they won't be at your side if it all goes wrong. A first-time holiday can be an experience you'll remember for life. So make sure you think ahead, and it won't be one you remember for all the wrong reasons. Here's a DIY guide to planning a holiday with friends. So, you're going away with friends, with nobody around to give you grief. That might be how it seems in theory. In reality, disagreements can often happen. Before you even leave home, be honest with each other about what you want from this holiday. Don't wait until you arrive to discover you're the only person who wants to spend lots of chilled nights in watching BBC World. Be honest about what you want before you leave, and discuss any problems ASAP. This might be the first time you've had lots of money to spend on yourself. But don't forget that this money is supposed to last your whole holiday. Spending it all before you get as far as the airport departure gate isn't a good idea. Be sensible. Work out how much you're going to spend each day and stick to it. It's worth staying switched on about your diet. You can certainly have a break from your everyday dishes, but just remember that your body needs vitamins and minerals, not just chips and burgers. It's natural to want to relax on holiday, especially when you're parent-free. But that doesn't mean you should live like a pig. Personal hygiene still matters. And if it doesn't matter to you, it will to your friends. You're on holiday from the stresses of the everyday world, but you're also away from your home and family, so try to look out for each other. And don't be selfish. A mate who won't make the effort should be left at home. Don't be the one who lets everyone down. Respect people's space and their needs, likes and dislikes. If you're staying in a self-catering apartment, make sure you all take turns to do the cooking and washing up. With a little care and attention, you'll all get along just fine. Right now, you might not think you'll miss home. But you may feel differently when you're hundreds of miles away, so be sure to keep in touch by phone, SMS or email. If possible, arrange for your family to call or text you at an agreed time to keep your costs down. But don't be afraid to pick up the phone or send a message home at any time if you're feeling wobbly.
Vocabulary Builder 8. Part 3. Exercise 1.
USA, UK, CD, GM, UFO, AIDS, NATO, NASA, RAM, JPEG, CD-ROM.
Lesson 8F. Exercise 3. 1.
And on your left, you can see
Excuse
a
me?
famous landmark which dates back to the 15th century. It was designed
Excuse me?
by the famous architect.
Excuse me? I'd like to make a complaint.
Is there a problem?
Yes. It's very hot in here. Can you ask the driver to switch on the air conditioning?
I'm afraid the air conditioning isn't working at the moment.
What? That's just not acceptable.
I'm very sorry, sir. There's really nothing I can do about it.
2.
Can I help you?
Yes, I understand we're going to be late arriving at New York.
That's right. The captain is estimating a delay of about 12 hours.
Well, that's a bit of a disaster for me. I've got a train to catch. I'm going to miss it.
I'm very sorry to hear that, but I'm afraid the bad weather is slowing us down. The sea is quite rough.
Well, what do you suggest I do?
Is it possible to change your train ticket?
Not without paying a fee, and I don't see why I should pay for it. The delay isn't my fault.
I'm afraid I can't help you. If you read the terms and conditions, you'll see that we don't guarantee to reach the destination at a specific time.
3.
Hi, is everything okay?
No, it isn't. I want to complain about the state of our swimming pool.
Oh, yes. What's the matter with it?
It's filthy. It obviously hasn't been cleaned for weeks, or even months. It's a disgrace.
Don't worry, madam. I'll send somebody to clean it.
That's what the owner told us on the day we arrived at the apartment. It's now a week later and nothing has happened. I'm running out of patience. My children want to use our pool, but I won't let them swim in it until it's been cleaned. And the outdoor shower is just as bad. Look at it.
I can only apologise. I'll personally make sure the problem is resolved immediately.
Thank you.
4.
Is everything okay?
No, it isn't. I'm extremely disappointed.
Oh dear. I'm sorry to hear there's a problem. What's wrong exactly?
The site doesn't have half the things we were promised. Where's the children's play area? There isn't one.
We had to remove it because of vandalism. I'm afraid there isn't much we can do about that.
And look what it says in your brochure. Every tent has its own electricity and water supply.
The luxury tents do, but not the standard tents. It's all there in the brochure if you read it carefully.
Well, I'm really not happy about this.
5.
How can I help?
I'm very disappointed with my room.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's the problem?
Well, I specifically asked for a room with a balcony with a sea view. But my room overlooks the street and there's no balcony. It's not what I expect from a 5-star hotel.
Oh dear, I must apologise. I'll sort it out immediately.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
That's quite all right. Thank you for your help.
Lesson 8F. Exercise 4. 1.
I'd like to make a complaint.
2.
That's just not acceptable.
3.
There's really nothing I can do about it.
4.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
5.
It's a disgrace.
6.
I'm running out of patience.
7.
I'm sorry to hear there's a problem.
8.
I'm really not happy about this.
9.
I'll sort it out immediately.
10.
I must apologise.
Skills Roundup 1 to 8. Exercises 2 and 3. Scene 1.
Libby, come in. How are you?
Good to see you, Anna. It's been ages.
I know. I've been so busy. But you finally made it.
Yes. And I like your new place. It's great. Is it 2 bedrooms?
Yes, it is. I'll show you around. This is one of the bedrooms.
Oh, it's really big. Lucky you.
Actually, that's Zara's room.
Oh, your flatmate? Is she out?
No, I think she's in the kitchen. I'll introduce you.
OK.
Hi, Zara. This is my friend Libby.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Libby. I've heard a lot about you.
You haven't forgotten about tonight, have you? I'm cooking dinner. My friend Mike's coming round too. You will join us, won't you?
Yes, I'd love to.
Anna tells me you're a dancer.
Yes, that's right. I'm in a show at the moment. It's called...
Scene 2.
So, what are we getting for tonight?
I think I'll make lasagna. So we need some cheese. It's over there.
And you haven't told me how you're getting on with Mike. Are you seeing more of him?
Don't ask.
What do you mean? I thought you really liked him.
Well, I've changed my mind completely. I got really angry with him last weekend. I'll tell you about it on the way home.
But he's still coming tonight, isn't he? For dinner, I mean.
Yes, he is. But that's only because I'd already invited him.
Oh dear.
Scene 3.
Do you think Anna needs some help in the kitchen?
I doubt it. She's a pretty good cook. And Zara's there, isn't she?
Yes, she is. I'm sure Anna's fine. She doesn't need me.
So, are you just here for the weekend?
Yes, that's right. I haven't seen Anna for ages. You used to work with her, didn't you?
Yes, at a holiday camp.
And then you followed her to Liverpool?
Well, it wasn't exactly like that. Is this your first time in Liverpool?
Yes. I'm going sightseeing tomorrow. Any suggestions?
Yes. You should visit the old docks. They're really interesting. And there are a lot of nice shops and cafes around there.
Sounds good. I'll suggest that to Anna. Oh, I think the food's on its way.
Scene 4.
Oh, hi, Libby. Are you looking for a drink?
Just a glass of water. So, Zara, what's going on with Anna and Mike?
Nothing much.
So, they aren't going out together?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they aren't. Why? Are you interested in Mike?
No, of course not. Why'd you say that?
I think he likes you.
Well, I'm not interested. I don't think Anna would be very happy. And she's my best friend.
But Anna and Mike have fallen out. I'm not sure what happened. An argument of some kind. And she says she doesn't want to make up.
And do you believe her?
Well, I'm not sure. What do you think?
I really don't know.
Scene 5.
I really enjoyed last night. It was a great meal.
Thanks. You got on really well with Mike, didn't you?
Yes, he's nice. Have you forgiven him yet?
I don't know.
Look, you need to talk to him. I'm sure you two should go out with each other. Properly. You really like each other.
Maybe. Shall I phone him?
No. Go out for a coffee or something. Find a nice cafe where you can chat.
Yes, that would be better, wouldn't it?
And don't leave it too long. Try and arrange it for one evening this week.
But I'm so busy.
Stop making excuses. You know I'm right. You and Mike need to talk.
Unit 9, Lesson 9A. Exercise 2. 1.
Summer sale. 50% off everything. Bargains galore.
2.
We accept all major credit cards.
3.
Huge stock clearance. Massive reductions.
4.
Please check your change. Mistakes cannot be rectified later.
5.
This item is currently out of stock.
6.
Cash only at this till. No cheques or credit cards.
7.
Special offer. 3 for the price of 2.
8.
Please retain your receipt as proof of purchase.
9.
No refunds or exchanges.
Lesson 9A. Exercises 4 and 5.
Hey, Bella, do you want to come shopping with me tomorrow?
I don't think I can, Alice. I can't afford it. I've spent too much money on music and clothes lately, and my mum would be cross. She thinks I waste my pocket money on things I don't really need.
But it's sale time. We can shop around for fantastic bargains. I've been saving up for some boots, and they're on special offer now.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on. I'll lend you some money if you like.
That's probably not a good idea. I don't like being in debt.
Don't be silly. I'm your friend. You can pay me back whenever. Remember that blue dress that you liked? Well, there are huge reductions in that shop. I'm sure that dress has 70% off now.
Really? That is a bargain. I don't know when I can pay you back, though.
Didn't you say that your aunt wanted to buy you a late birthday present? Can't you ask her for some money? Or she could pay for the dress.
That's not a bad idea. I'd forgotten about that.
So that's decided. Shall we go tomorrow?
OK then. I could always just try it on, couldn't I?
See? That dress looks great on you. I told you.
I love it. And what a bargain. Can I borrow the money then?
Of course. Here you are.
I hope my mum won't be cross. If she is, I can always take it back and get a refund.
I'm sure you can, if you keep your receipt. Come on, let's pay at that till over there.
I'd like to buy this dress, please.
Certainly. Are you paying in cash or by credit card?
Cash, please. Can I bring it back if I change my mind?
I'm sorry. There are no refunds or exchanges on sale goods. We've nearly sold out of that dress, and we aren't going to get any more stock in.
Oh dear. I'll take it anyway.
OK. And here's your change.
Thank you. Oh well, I just hope Mum isn't cross with me.
Lesson 9B. Exercise 5.
Hey Mark, nice car. Was it expensive?
No, but I had to have a lot of work done on it. I had new wheels fitted and I had it repainted. It used to be blue.
Nice sound system. Did you have that fitted too?
No, I did that myself.
Oh, can we go for a drive?
No. It's broken down at the moment. I've got to have it repaired, but I can't afford to.
Lesson 9C. Exercise 4.
Product placement. People are getting tired of advertisements. There are adverts everywhere, from the magazine in your hand to buses in the street. We see ads all day, every day, so people stop paying attention. Therefore, in the USA, the latest approach is to make advertising less obvious. Companies try to place their products within a film. This started in the 1980s, but now it happens all the time. There are even agencies to help companies do this. The next time you watch a Hollywood film, look for products or brands that you recognise. Pay attention to drinks, as it is likely you'll see one of the major companies represented. Is it Coke or Pepsi, for example? Then see how many times that product appears. Car manufacturers are going further with product placement.
The Hollywood action film Lara Croft Tomb Raider became an advert for the new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. And in I, Robot, Audi designed a futuristic car especially for the film. It looked amazing, but it was definitely still an Audi. Product placement is also starting to happen more on American television. With hard disk recorders, people can now fast forward through the advertising breaks. So companies are paying to have their products placed in the programs. If you watch American Idol, you will see the judges sitting behind huge red Coca-Cola glasses. You can now find product placement in books, music videos, computer games, and on the internet. In fact, children's learning books are one of the biggest new areas. Read these titles: the Hershey's Kisses Edition Book, the Cheerios Christmas Playbook, the Oreo Cookie Counting Book. The last book has children counting those little chocolate biscuits on every page. Product placement is the future of advertising. There's no escape.
Lesson 9C. Exercise 5. Speaker 1.
I don't have a problem with advertising. Companies need to sell their products and they need to tell us about them. I like to see what's new. And I think many adverts are brilliant nowadays. I like watching them, like the one where the car turns into a street dancer. It's fantastic. And some of them are like little films with special effects. They're very creative. And anyway, if you're fed up with watching ads, you just turn off the TV. It's all under our control.
Speaker 2.
Adverts are annoying at times. They interrupt the programmes and they're often boring. I don't usually pay much attention to them. And I honestly don't think they really make the majority of people go out and buy things. But one thing really, really annoys me. Why are there so many adverts aimed at children? I just don't think that's right. When my little sister watches children's TV, there are so many ads during the programmes. She knows them all by heart and can sing all the songs. She's always asking Mum and Dad for toys and sweets that she's seen advertised. I don't think adverts for children should be allowed on TV. Kids don't understand them.
Speaker 3.
I hate adverts. They're terrible. People think they're harmless, but I really don't agree. For one thing, adverts only tell you the good things about the product. The government should control adverts better. And that's not the only thing I don't like about adverts. Companies spend a lot of money advertising things to people that they don't want or need. They're actually trying to make you waste money. It's not right.
Lesson 9D. Exercise 1.
Where have you been, Joe? Do you know what time it is? It's 1:30 in the morning.
Sorry, Mum. If I'd known the time, I would have come home earlier.
Oh, yes. So, what's your excuse then?
I had to walk home. I was at Dave's house and I missed the last bus. If I hadn't missed it, I wouldn't have had to walk.
Oh, really? Well, you could have phoned me. I was worried sick.
Sorry, Mum. I would have phoned you if I'd had my mobile with me, but I think I left it at Dave's.
Lesson 9D. Exercise 6. 1.
If you'd set the alarm clock, you wouldn't have been late for school.
2.
If I'd known it was her birthday today, I'd have sent her a card.
3.
If I'd heard the phone ring, I'd have answered it.
Lesson 9E. Exercise 2.
The world's luckiest man. 81-year-old Frano Selak is known as the world's luckiest man. Throughout his long life, he has survived 7 disasters, all of which could have killed him. Then, at the age of 76, he got married for the 5th time. Selak was born in a small town in Croatia. He was involved in his first accident in 1962. He was travelling by train from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik when the train jumped from the rails and fell into a freezing river. He managed to get to the riverbank with a broken arm, suffering from hypothermia. The following year, Selak took a flight for the first and last time. The door opened and the passengers were thrown out of the plane. If that haystack hadn't been in the field, he would have died. A few years later, he was travelling by bus this time when, again, it fell into a river. This time, he only had cuts and bruises. He was getting used to it. His next accident happened in 1970, but with a different method of transport. He was driving along the motorway when suddenly his car caught fire. 3 years later, his next car caught fire at a garage. The fire swept through the car. Again, he escaped from the vehicle, but he lost most of his hair. Accident number 6 was caused by transport again, but this time Selak was on foot. He was walking in Zagreb when a bus hit him. Amazingly, he wasn't too badly hurt. Was there no safe way for him to travel? His 7th accident happened the following year. He was driving in the mountains. He came round a bend and saw a huge lorry coming towards him. Miraculously, he managed to jump out of the car. He watched as car number 3 rolled down the mountain and exploded. Selak said, "I never thought I was lucky to survive all my disasters. I thought I was unlucky to be in them in the first place." In the end, however, Selak did feel lucky. Not when he won the lottery, but when he met his 5th wife, Katerina. In fact, he has sold his luxury home and given away most of his lottery money. He said, "All I need at my age is my Katerina. Money wouldn't change anything." But there was one thing that he did spend some of his money on. Now, even if he never travels by car, bus, or plane again, he can still keep walking.
Lesson 9F, Exercises 3 and 4.
I can't be sure, but I guess the girl is buying something. I think she's holding a credit card. It certainly looks like a credit card. Yes, I'm pretty certain that she's giving her credit card details to the sales assistant. She's got a laptop there, but she can't be shopping online because she's giving her card details over the phone. Another possibility is that she's phoning her bank. If she manages her bank account online, it could be that she's phoning the bank to set up a direct debit or something like that. It's difficult to say.
Lesson 9F, Exercise 5.
Yes, I'd say that I buy a lot of things online. For example, I'm always downloading music from iTunes. Actually, I downloaded a couple of tracks just last night. As for my friends, I wouldn't say that they buy things online as often as I do. In fact, I'm pretty sure that some of them have never bought anything online. Why do I do it? Well, for one thing, it saves a lot of time because you don't have to go to the shops. I also think that things are usually cheaper online.
Lesson 9F, Exercise 6.
The last time I used a computer was last night. I was watching TV with my sister. I'd completely forgotten that I had history homework. But in the middle of the program, I suddenly remembered and rushed upstairs to my room to start. I used to use my dad's computer, but my parents bought me a laptop for Christmas, which I keep in my room. Anyway, while I was writing the essay, a couple of my friends kept sending me messages. They could see I was online, you see. It was really distracting, So I quit Messenger. Eventually, I finished the essay at midnight.
Get ready for your exam 5. Listening. Exercise 2.
Welcome to today's edition of One Life Only. With us, we have someone who has travelled across the Atlantic the hard way. Let me introduce Jason McKinley, who crossed the ocean in a rowing boat. So, Jason, why did you decide to embark on this particular trip?
Well, I wanted to find the world's toughest physical challenge. I decided to enter the Atlantic Rowing Challenge, a rowing race covering nearly 3,000 miles from the Canary Islands in Europe to Barbados in the Caribbean. I asked a friend, Phil Carrington, if he would join me, and luckily he said yes.
So what was the first thing you had to do?
Find a boat, and then learn to row.
My goodness! What else did you have to do to prepare for the journey?
We had to do a lot of planning, plan the route and work out how much food and water to take for the journey. We decided to take 60 days' worth of food, a lot to fit into a small space.
And what was it like to be actually on the water?
It was great, until day 3. Then we were hit by our first storm. We had to stay in the cabin for 18 hours. 2 big guys in one tiny cabin, not comfortable.
Were the storms the worst thing?
Well, there was the shark.
Really?
It swam round and then it went underneath the boat. They're strong enough to break the boat if they want to, but fortunately this one wasn't interested. However, that evening I had to go into the water to clean under the boat. I was making a lot of noise, and I was a bit worried that the shark might still be around to hear me. Suddenly, there was another noise, a bump, a bang, and a thud, so I tried to climb back into the boat really fast.
Was it the shark?
I'll never know.
And how long did the journey actually take?
51 days. We were the first British pair to finish.
Wow! How did that feel?
Fantastic. But we were extremely tired and very thin. It took me a few weeks to get back to what I weighed before.
An amazing journey. Thank you, Jason, very much for telling us about
Unit 10, Lesson 10A, Exercises 2 and 3. 1.
This is my favourite aria. Shh!
2.
Shh! Don't clap now. That's just the end of the first movement.
3.
Isn't this amazing?
Yes, it is. 100 voices all singing in harmony.
4.
I know this. It's really famous, isn't it?
Yes, it's Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
5.
Now put your hands up. Now put your hands up. Now put your hands up.
What do you think of this track?
It's okay. Some of the lyrics are really clever, but it's not my kind of music.
6.
It's time for the big drum solo.
Let's go and get something to eat.
Good idea.
7.
What's this tune?
I've no idea. I can't hear the melody.
8.
Give me your heart.
before you leave me.
He's got a good voice, hasn't he?
His voice is okay, yes, but I'm sure he's playing the wrong chords.
9.
And now here's one to get you all on your feet.
If you're ready, steady, if you're ready. Uh-oh, let's go, go.
Doesn't this beat make you want to dance?
No, not really.
10.
This next one's called Yon Maiden is So Fair. If you know the chorus, please join in. I did lie and hey and do.
Lesson 10C. Exercise 1.
Music around Europe. British summers are not always well suited to standing in a field with thousands of other festival goers, as fans of the Glastonbury Festival in southwest England have often discovered. So these days, thousands of music lovers head for mainland Europe for sunnier festival experiences. Here are some of the most popular destinations. Belgium. Rock Werchter started in 1975 and always attracts big headline acts like Kings of Leon and Coldplay. The location in the centre of Belgium isn't exactly exotic, but it's a short journey from London to Brussels by train and then on to Leuven, where shuttle buses will take you to the site. The festival takes place in early July and lasts for 4 days. Croatia. The T-Mobile In Music Festival in late June is a 20,000 capacity event beside Lake Jarun in the centre of Zagreb. One of the many festivals in the Balkans, it always has a strong lineup, including acts like Jamiroquai and Arcade Fire. Elsewhere in Croatia, there's a dance music festival called the Garden Festival in Petrocane in July. The site is a beautiful location overlooking the Adriatic Sea. It's a small festival catering for just 2,000 clubbers, but with over 80 top DJs playing over 2 weekends. Spain. In mid-July, Fib is basically a big party by the beach in Benicassim, near Valencia. The town is usually popular with Spanish tourists, but this is one of the most popular festivals with Brits, so don't expect too much local culture. There's always a huge lineup of top acts. And there are excellent beaches about 20 minutes walk from the campsite. But, be warned, it reaches up to 40 degrees C in the day, so the music plays from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. and there's little chance of sleep. Finally, Sonar is a festival that takes place in Barcelona at the end of June. It attracts all the best artists and DJs from the dance music and techno scenes.
Lesson 10C. Exercise 4. Speaker 1.
I love music. I'm definitely a music fan. All types, really. I listen to CDs a lot, and my MP3 player too. But I'm not keen on going to festivals. You can't hear the music well because the sound system is never great. And anyway, most bands these days aren't really that good at performing live. They're much more used to recording in the studio. So, on balance, I don't really like festivals.
Speaker 2.
I go to rock concerts quite often, but the tickets for well-known bands cost a fortune. The great thing about a music festival is that I get to see 4 or 5 top acts in the same weekend. Sure, the ticket is expensive, but not as expensive as going to 5 different rock concerts.
Speaker 3.
I like the idea of music festivals, being with friends in the open air, listening to great bands playing live, But the truth is, I'm not good with crowds. And somewhere like Glastonbury, there are thousands of people all crammed into a couple of fields. I don't think I could stand it. It's my worst nightmare, to be honest. So I watch it on TV every year instead.
Speaker 4.
I've been to a few festivals over the years with my tent. You know, camping. Now, I don't know if I've been unlucky, but every time we've had serious problems with rain, mud, the whole lot. Once, I woke up and there was a river running right through the middle of my tent. Terrible. So now I just think, I can't face it. Not in Britain, anyway. Maybe somewhere with a warmer, drier climate.
Speaker 5.
I love music festivals. Being in a crowd with thousands of other people all enjoying the same thing at the same time. It's great. At lots of festivals, there are people of all ages and backgrounds. You get 18-year-old students and 60-year-old accountants all hanging out together. And they get on fine because they've got something in common. They all love music.
Lesson 10E. Exercise 2.
Alonzo Clemens. Alonzo Clemens is from Boulder, Colorado. According to Alonzo's mother, Evelyn, he was always trying to sculpt things as a baby, but she did not realize what he was doing. And then he got hold of some modelling clay, and she soon realized that he had a special talent. Before he could even feed himself or get dressed, he could make models of animals that were correct in every detail. As Alonzo grew, his ability to sculpt increased rapidly, but he did not develop the other skills which children normally learn. Some doctors call people like Alonzo savants. They have a developmental disability, like autism, a condition which makes it hard for them to communicate or perform everyday tasks. But at the same time, they have a skill which they can do incredibly well. In some cases, that skill involves maths or memory. In other cases, music or painting. With Alonzo, it's sculpture. It takes only 45 minutes for Alonzo to complete a small work. Recently, however, he has begun to do more ambitious projects. His most impressive work is called 3 Frolicking Foals. It took Alonzo just 3 weeks to complete this life-size sculpture of 3 young horses. Like all of his work, they are anatomically correct in every detail. In 1986, Alonzo exhibited his work for the first time. It was very popular, and today his work is on constant display at a gallery in Colorado, USA. Alonzo's special ability has helped him deal with his autism. He is now able to communicate better and lead a more independent life. He has a job and his own apartment, and he enjoys doing weightlifting at the gym. But sculpture is still his main passion. Richard Wawro. Tadeusz Wawro was an officer in the Polish army who decided to settle in Scotland after the Second World War. He married a Scottish primary school teacher called Olive, and together they started a family. Their son, Richard, was clearly unlike other children from an early age. His behaviour was extremely repetitive. He would spend hours playing the same note on the piano. He used to spend hours staring at the illustrations in books. Schools refused to teach him because he was difficult. In those days, little was known about autism, so Richard was simply described as being mentally disabled. Richard's parents found a school for him when he was 6, and his teacher there discovered his talent for drawing. "What I saw was magic," she recalls. "I couldn't believe my eyes." Richard hardly spoke. His drawings were a form of communication. He sketched pictures of his everyday life, his school bus, his breakfast, characters from the television. He always drew from memory, and the details were always perfectly accurate. He drew so much that his parents had difficulty providing enough paper. In 1970, when Richard was 18, his works were exhibited for the first time in an art gallery. The exhibition was reported on a BBC News programme, and his career as an artist suddenly took off. Margaret Thatcher, who later became the British Prime Minister, described him as her favourite artist, and before long he was travelling around the world. His favourite country to visit was the USA, because there he was treated as an artist, not an artist with learning difficulties.
Lesson 10F. Exercises 1 and 2.
So which of these shows are we going to see?
I'm not sure. Personally, I'd rather go to a rock concert.
Yes, but Grandma wouldn't. And she's coming too, remember?
Electricity. What is that exactly? Ballet?
No, it's modern dance.
Modern dance? It's not really my thing.
Why not?
I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. I don't hate it, but I'd rather see something else.
Oh, that's a shame. Modern dance is interesting. I'm quite into it. And ballet.
Personally, I don't fancy going to a ballet.
Why not? Do you think ballet's for girls?
No. Well, yes, a bit. But that's not why I don't want to go. I think I'll be bored.
There's also this opera, The Magic Flute. Do you like opera?
I wouldn't say I was a real fan.
Well, how about this musical, Hairspray?
That sounds more fun. I don't know much about the show, though. Do you?
Not really, no. But I think it's about a TV dance show. I saw a bit of the film once.
It won't be too heavy.
No, not at all. It should be really entertaining.
Let's phone up and see if there are any tickets left.
Lesson 10F. Exercise 3. Expressing enthusiasm.
I'd really love to see it.
I love that kind of thing.
I'm quite into it.
That sounds more fun.
It should be really entertaining.
Expressing lack of enthusiasm.
I'm not very keen on it.
I'm not particularly interested in.
I'm not really interested in.
It's not really my thing.
It just doesn't appeal to me.
I think I'd be bored. I wouldn't say I was a real fan.
Lesson 10F. Exercise 6. Speaker 1.
As I see it, they need to do something about the price of tickets. It can cost a fortune to buy a ticket for a musical or a ballet. Not only that, but there is the cost of transport and maybe some food when you're out. It's such an expensive evening out. I really think that they should offer cheap tickets for students and other young people.
Speaker 2.
I firmly believe that all civilized societies must offer cultural activities. You can't imagine a major city without a theatre or a concert hall. I also think that it's an important form of leisure. People work so hard these days. They need time to relax and to escape from their normal life. Going to the theatre or a concert or something like that is a great form of escape. Well, to my mind anyway.
Lesson 10F. Exercise 7. 1.
Opera houses can be such formal venues.
2.
Opera goers often look so posh.
3.
It's such an expensive night out.
4.
People work so hard these days.
5.
Ballet is so old-fashioned.
6.
Watching a play is such a different experience.
Skills Roundup 1 to 10. Exercises 2 and 3. Scene 1.
Hello?
Oh, hi Zara. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm just going out. I've got a rehearsal at 3.
Oh, okay. Is Anna there?
No, she's at work. But I can tell her you called.
It's okay. I'll send her a text message. So, are you rehearsing for a new show?
Yes, it's Romeo and Juliet, the ballet.
Great! Are you Juliet?
No, unfortunately not. Just one of the chorus. But it's a wonderful ballet. Very romantic.
Yes, it's one of my favourites. Which reminds me, how are Mike and Anna getting on? Are they going out together yet?
No, they hardly see each other. It's a shame. I mean, they really like each other, but they don't want to admit it. That's my theory anyway.
Maybe they need a bit of help.
What do you mean?
A bit of help getting together. We need a plan.
Oh, I have to run. My rehearsal starts in 10 minutes.
Scene 2.
Anna? Is that you? Yes, it's me. Hi, Zara. How are you?
Tired. I was at a rehearsal for 4 hours. Our director treats us like slaves.
Poor you.
What are you up to this evening?
I'm going to stay in and watch a DVD.
Is that my mobile?
Yes. Shall I pass it to you?
No, just read it out. I think it's a message from my dad.
No, it's my friend Libby. She sent you a message.
Really?
Yes. It says, can you get me 2 tickets for Romeo and Juliet, please?
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes. That's fine. It makes sense.
Scene 3.
Hello?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm fine. I've just had a call from your friend, Libby.
Oh, really? That's nice. Everybody's hearing from her except me.
What?
Oh, nothing. Go on. Why did she call you?
It was a bit strange, really. I wasn't sure why she called. She asked me if I liked ballet.
Oh. What did you say?
I said I'd never been, so I didn't know.
Maybe she's planning to take you out.
Yes, maybe. Anyway, what have you been up to recently? Do you fancy meeting up for a coffee this weekend?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Are you busy?
No, but it sounds like you're going to be busy with my friend.
Get ready for B2 Exams 1. Listening. Exercise 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now approaching Stonehenge. Look out of the window to your left, and shortly you will see in the distance this amazing stone circle. There it is! The stones are so tall, and the countryside is so flat and bare around it. Imagine how it looked to a Neolithic traveller walking over the fields towards it for the first time. How old do you think this stone structure is? Work started at Stonehenge in 3000 BC and continued for over 1,000 years. The stones have now been standing here for over 3,500 years, and we still don't know exactly how or why Neolithic man built it. You will be able to see this mysterious monument more clearly and find out more about it on our guided tour. Now, everybody, in a few minutes we will arrive at the main car park, where the coach will stop for an hour. You can leave all of your bags and belongings on the coach if you wish. Take a jacket, however, as it might start to rain. We will make our way in a group down to the entrance. We don't have to queue as our tickets are prepaid. However, we will stop to pick up audio guides for those of you who would like them. The guides are available in many languages and take about 30 minutes to listen to. Then we will go through the tunnel under the road to the monument itself. Please follow me at all times. You must stay on the paths around the monument. I'm afraid you are not allowed to go up to or touch the stones themselves. However, don't worry. You will get a good, clear view from the designated walkways. After we have toured the site, there will be time for refreshments at the small cafe before we have to head back to the car park. Now, are there any questions before we leave the coach?
Get ready for B2 exams 2. Listening. Exercise 6.
Speaker 1.
Some people say that it doesn't matter whether you vote or not, because one vote won't change the result. They say that you are just one voice in a crowd of millions. But if everybody thought that their vote didn't count, then nobody would get elected. Think of it this way. Your vote might just be the deciding vote. Voting means that all voices are heard, no matter whether they're big or small.
Speaker 2.
What I don't understand is why people in Western countries don't all vote. In the USA, only 30 to 40% of people vote. That's less than half the population. Where I come from, we want to vote, but we can't. We want our leaders to hear our opinions. We want democracy, but we don't have it yet. We have been fighting for it for decades, and we are still fighting for it. In many countries like mine, people who disagree with the government go to prison. Imagine that. You are lucky to be able to vote, so use this opportunity.
Speaker 3.
I don't think I'm going to vote this time. I'm fed up with politicians. I would vote, but there's nobody worth voting for. I've listened to everybody who is campaigning in this election, and I think they all sound the same. Their policies all sound negative. All they do is criticize the other candidates. I wish someone would come along who said something different. I really would like to see someone with a new approach. I'd like to hear a new message, and I'll only vote when this happens.
Speaker 4.
I'm going to vote for the very good reason that I'm a woman. Every time I get fed up with politics and politicians, I remember that not so long ago, women didn't have the right to vote at all. We were regarded as second-class citizens, and our opinions weren't worth having. British women at the beginning of the last century fought against this. Many went to prison, and one woman threw herself under the king's horse to bring this injustice to people's attention. She died of her injuries. If I don't vote, then she died for nothing.
End of CD3.